After my previous video talking about the devs, talking about the future of the game and other comments like that, we are back with some more stuff. And this is a lot better than the previous video, especially because it talks about updates that are coming to the PTB and how these updates affect AI and nesting, which is future content for the game. So let's just dissect it all and let's just go ahead and talk about all of it. So we're starting off with public test branch updates, and this is something that I spoke about in a previous video, and it was mainly the fact that the public test branch hasn't been updated for the last 2 months, and that the last game update was in July as well for the official game, which was mainly public test branch content. However, there is now more coming to the game. I mean, we always knew that more content was going to come to the game regardless. I feel like it would have been naive to think that the game is ending, or that just because there's a roadblock means that it's completely done and there's nothing we can do about it. But as of Saturday, at around 2 PM, Matt commented on a comment which was made about my previous video, which, by the way, I just want to mention, for those worrying, the game isn't going to go anywhere. I don't think development for the game is going to stop, especially because there's still a lot to do for it. And I feel like a lot of the comments that Matt made are just valid game dev stuff, especially the one about laying the tracks while you're developing the game, especially for people who are first making a game for the first time. If this is their first big project, that's often how it happens, because most game studios, especially ones of this size, don't have the capabilities, the size and all that to be able to just pump out updates. I mean, we were concerned for 2 months of lack of content, and yet there's been other games like The Isle which went a whole year without a big major update. So I mean, it all comes in swings and roundabouts. It's game development at the end of the day. That being said, let's circle back to what Matt said, because I did have a little ramble there. Matt said this in reference to the previous comment. He said, "I'm really excited about the stuff coming up. We made some major W's for server performance for upcoming patches from a recent stress test sessions." In terms of stress test sessions, he was referring to those public test branch or main branch servers with 200 players on, which were just testing lag and everything like that, so it's cool to see. But he additionally said this: "Can't wait for people to be able to check out all the new stuff on the public test branch when it's ready." This, of course, is great news. As I mentioned previously, the main concern with getting content on the PTB is that there were specific blockers and stuff that was pretty much halting the movements for the updates for the game. But now it looks like they're getting past that, slowly fixing the issues, and they're getting content, and there seems to be a lot of content that they're excited to put out. The next update is brewing, and by what Matt said, it is making some big progress and will be on the public test branch soon. We don't know how soon, of course. Game dev terms mean soon. It could be from now until, you know, heat death of the universe, but you know, who knows. But that being said, we finally get to talk about the next update, and it's great to see. At least it's been confirmed. We know that it's coming on the public test branch, and it involves server performance fixes as well as other stuff that they can't wait for us to get our hands onto. In reference to all of this, Matt did talk about AI as well, and this wasn't just AI, it was AI nesting and the questing improvements for the game, and this is how server performance ties into these updates. Essentially, what was said was, there was a comment by someone that said improving server performance is massive in my opinion, and then Matt responded with 2 quotes saying, especially because how it connects to AI and quests and future mechanics like nesting. Got to have some server performance headroom to add all of those features, and I do agree with that one. It's very, very important to be able to make sure the game's performance is spot on, because if it isn't and it's performing badly, people are lagging and everything like that, adding AI, adding 200 player servers, adding a whole new mechanic is still very tough to do, especially when you have to combat server lag, tick rate issues, performance issues, you know, a lot of that as well. So it's very important to make sure the issues with server performance, especially for a multiplayer game, are locked down, otherwise it's not going to be a fun experience. Which is quite important to note, actually, especially when considering that Matt has said the upcoming public test branch patch will be a very good patch for content and of course for server performance, which means once that's on and once it's working as intended, it will pave the way for AI, nesting, quest improvements and other features to come to the game. How exciting is that? One quick final thing I want to mention is the fact that we do get some additional hints on how the matchmaker is intended to work, as some people seem confused as to why they get put into lower population servers. And Matt did clarify on this one actually. He said that the matchmaker intends to put you in a setup for you to join servers with around 80 to 90 people, essentially not anything above 90. They do this for one main reason, and that's intentional. It's so that your friends can join the servers that you're on if you're on official servers, and your friends go through the playlist and click to join your session. Otherwise, if you're in a full session, they're not going to be able to join you at all. You have to leave the matchmaker, try and find another lobby that isn't full. And of course, this is what a lot of games do. GTA 5 does this. When you're trying to join a GTA session, they try to not put you in a full session so your friends can join you. It's a classic thing with games. It ensures that your friends are able to join and play alongside you, because if they're trying to join or you're in a full player server, no one's going to be able to join you. You're going to have to leave and start that process again. So yeah, that's all clarified now on how the matchmaker essentially works in terms of getting you into lobbies with less people. But for comments, I think that is all for now. But I do want to mention, since my previous video, there was a lot of people commenting about how the game is dying and how the devs are doing a terrible decision with all of this. But personally, I think it's best to look up on this one in a hopeful side. The game is going like any game would. A lot of games have long update cycles. This isn't uncommon. Like big games like Halo Infinite take 4 or 5 months a season, don't really do many updates in that season, maybe a couple events and stuff like that. The Isle and Beast of Bermuda don't do updates that are this quick. I mean, they do quick updates, but in terms of game dev, it's all relative and it all falls under a similar development cycle. As a game gets bigger, the updates tend to take longer because some of the content and the scope of things gets bigger, the problems that the developers face will get bigger as well. Personally though, I think it's a very, very good thing that the developers are able to talk about and showcase all of the good, the bad, and the ugly that comes with game developing itself. They're able to communicate the problems that they face in terms of development and communicate them just through casual chats. I think that transparency is awesome, and it's something that we should promote more for in the game industry, because it helps us to stay all in the loop, especially when times get tough. But that's all for that. Let me know what you think about these dev comments in the comments down below. I'd love to know what you think. But other than that, guys, I hope you enjoyed. I'll see you in the next one. Have a great day. Peace.